Today, I am going to tell you how an owner of a Detroit rental lost $6,317 when he went to sell his rental and how completely avoidable this was. He did not have to lose this much money. I'm going to tell you what happened and what he could have done to have prevented this. I'm Monique Burns. My husband and I buy houses in Detroit. We renovate them and we sell them to investors from all over the country and all over the world. And it really doesn't matter if you are local or if you are overseas. This happens either way. You just need to know how to avoid what I'm going to talk about. We sell 3-bedroom rentals, a lot like the one you're going to see in this video, for between $85,000 to $90,000. If that is something that you are interested in, set up a time on Calendly to talk to me. Right now, I am in northern Michigan at my mom's cabin. Incredible view. I'm going to be enjoying a sunset later. She does happen to have slots available this summer if you're watching this and you're looking for a place to go in the summer. It's between Traverse City and Elk Rapids that's East Bay right there. It's beautiful. I will link a video to a tour of this cabin, and in that video is my mom's direct contact information because it's her rental. So let's get into this. So this owner bought this house and he sadly went through a couple different property managers before he came to us and he said, "I can't handle it. The tenants in Detroit are just killing me." I'm like, wonder what happened. And I did have a buyer for this house, and we're going to go in and this is one of my $85,000 houses. We're going to go in and renovate it. It's already got the buyer all ready for it. So I already know who the buyer is on this one. So anyway, it's not for sale, but this is a good example of what we do. So first I'm going to tell you about what happened to this guy, how he lost $6,317. And then after I tell you that, my husband did a nice little walkthrough tour of the house as we just closed on it to start working on it. So when we were in the process of doing the purchase agreement, one of the things that I do is I look up tickets, and I'll give you the link below how I look up tickets. So if you own a house in Detroit, it is imperative that you go on this website periodically to make sure there's no tickets that you didn't know happened. I have made a couple videos about blight tickets, and I did talk in them about what you need to do to protect yourself if you ever get a ticket. What you need to do is, as soon as you get the ticket, correct whatever it was, and then reach out to the inspector and ask the inspector to come see so that you don't end up in blight court. But then if you don't make it on time, you should still go to blight court because the ticket will be a little bit cheaper if you show up and you pay it before the day after blight court. And you never know. I did make a video of how a couple people did get out of their tickets once they were in blight court. It's not going to work for most of us. Well, what happened with this guy is his property managers never had the right address for the location of all these blight tickets. So this poor guy got ticket upon ticket upon ticket. And the tickets themselves totaled, by the time he sold the house, $3,890. And the other thing that he had to pay at closing was $2,427. And he had to pay that to the water department because when the tenant moved in, the property manager never switched the water into the right name of the tenant. And so this poor owner got stuck with the tenant's water bill for way too long. As soon as that was noticed, like, the water department needed the address where to send these water bills. And as soon as there was a water bill, that needed to be handled with the tenant. And if the tenant didn't do it, that tenant needed to be evicted. I don't know what happened there. I'm not, who knows? But that was a lot of money in water bills. But let me tell you what happened with these tickets, because this is so bad. April of 2024, early in the month, the city started issuing tickets. Now, whether or not the city went out, these aren't the type of tickets that the city gives because the city went out. These are ones they can just look up and go, who's owning their property under an LLC? And they're like, are they registered as a landlord? Oh, nope, they didn't ever register as a landlord. We're going to write a ticket. Did they get a lead paint clearance test? Nope, they didn't do that. I'm going to write a ticket. Oh, and then did they get the final form to get the certificate of compliance? Oh, write a ticket for that. So on one day, the city didn't write those 3 tickets. They actually wrote 4 tickets for the house never being registered. Now, if the property manager, the whole crux of all this, if the new property manager ever once bothered to give the city their address, they would have known that they got these tickets. They could have done it. They could have gotten the house in compliance and, showed up at court and said, hey, I got it. I passed the city inspection. I got the lead clearance test done. It's called LIRA. They could have done that and gotten out of all these tickets. But the reason that there were 4 tickets was because the city accidentally did one of the tickets twice. So let me go over this. No registration, $305. It's totally free. Go online, register your house with the city. $305 for not having that. But then the city decided to give it to him twice. And he didn't show up at court because they didn't have the right address to even know to go to court and be like, why did I get 2 of the exact same ticket on the same day? So that was a totally extra $305 that should have never happened. $305 for no certificate of compliance. You know what? I was wrong. They didn't give him the $500 one for lead. This is where it gets weird. So this story gets weird. They gave him a $580 ticket, unfit for human occupancy. Now, when you see this video, you're going to wonder, how on earth could this house ever seem unfit for human occupancy? So before I tell you about all the rest of these tickets, my husband and I have a theory. This owner also owns the house next door. So my husband's going to give you a tour of this house. So listen to all these tickets before you get the tour of the house. And then he's going to show you the outside of the house next door that's like just barely 1 digit off this house number of this one. We think that the tickets all are for the house next door, but all got put on this house, which is absolutely terrible. So that's the beginning of April of 24. He got hit with all those. Now, in one day, he got hit with, I can't even count how many, but if you have a calculator, start adding, okay? So first we're at 305, 305, 305, 580 for the house being unfit. That's the beginning of April. And then we have on April 12th, apparently an inspector came out to the house and they said, oh, there's no certificate of compliance. Even though they already gave him that ticket at the beginning of April, they hit him with it again, 305. Oh, no registration. They didn't go online, put in their address, 305. And now they do the lead test. Oh, no lead test, add $580. Then they started picking on other stuff. Now watch when you see my husband give this tour of the house. Watch for these things. Exterior threat to public safety, $85. Defective roof or drainage, $85. Interior not sanitary. I mean, even though this house is vacant, just look and tell me if you think this could ever have been unsanitary. Now, maybe it's been clean since this happened. That's possible. I'm just saying. But look at this house and then look at the next one next door. So then the next $85. Interior rodents or insects. That could be, they're not there now. Another $85 for defective installation of plumbing fixtures. Doesn't look like it to us. We ran all the plumbing when we were checking out the house. It all ran fine. Like, that was really weird. $85, defective interior doors. So when you see the house tour, look at all the interior doors. On 9/4/24, the city decided, they looked up the address and they said, oh, still no certificate of compliance. It's a rental. How they know, I don't know. But they decided to start sending tickets because nobody's paying any attention to them anyway. So on that day, $305 again for no certificate of compliance. $305 for not going online and registering. And then, this is a weird one. They didn't do the lead. That one's $580. But they did say there sure are a lot of weeds. A lot of weeds. And the weeds were $85. So, see what you think when you see the tour of the house that got all these tickets, and then you kind of look at the one next door. Like, could it be that one? And the lesson learned is register the house, because if you register the house and you end up with tickets, at least you've got a fighting chance to get out of them, especially when the city is doing 2 tickets on the same day and then a couple days later the same pack of tickets. makes no sense. It's not fair, it's not cool, but check out the house we're about to work on. Pretty cool.
All right, here we are at 20010 Pelkey. Just getting ready to start this renovation. The good thing is we've dealt with this house before, and we put a new roof on, and we put all new windows in. Nice brick home. So I'll walk around, give you a little look at that. Let's go in the back. Here we go in the backyard. As you can see, new windows, security door, and doors are good still.
Wait. If you are appreciating this video and you're getting good quality out of it, the best way to thank me is to hit that subscribe button and say, it's not about the tenants. You know, you have to screen. There's gonna be bad apple tenants now and then, but when you hear this whole story, you get it really wasn't the tenants that killed him. It was some really poor management. And hopefully I'm helping you guys out and showing you how to not let this happen to you.
You'll see inside there's a little addition on this. Nice sized backyard. Back of the house. Somebody needed a window, so they helped themselves to that along with the furnace. But other than that, pretty good. You got a glass block window. Security doors here. This door's good. Here we are inside. There we go, it's a little better. All right, living room, big, good sized living room here. Here's the rest of our furnace. Bedroom 1 here. Bedroom 2 here. There's that missing window. Bathroom. The tile surround is still in good shape, so probably leave that, get new vanity. Toilet, ceramic on the floor is good. Change that light and vanity. Put a new door up. We go upstairs. Nice size up here. Nice big closet here. Or no, not so big, but closet. Through the living room. And then here's that addition, and that's the kitchen. So a nice sized kitchen, plenty of dining space over there. We'll get new floors down here. There's the cabinets. And down the basement. That's where the furnace was. Water heater's still here, so it's kind of weird. But that was a 90% efficient furnace. Utility, PEX plumbing's all done, electrical's updated, and then a really nice sized room here. No lights. All right, there you have it. 20010 Pelkey. This is the house next door. Peeling paint. Junk everywhere. Garage falling apart. Roof is shot. It's worse in the front. As you can see, all the peeling paint. Paint all peeling on the front. Roof needs to be redone.
One more thing, I just wanted to say, if you thought something's different about me, it's because I just got invisible aligners and I feel like I'm talking, my face looks weird and I feel like I'm talking funny, but you always want me to be authentic. That's what you say when you call, that I'm so authentic. Yep, sure am. Here I am with my new braces.